In other labor news, Starbucks closed two more cafes that voted to unionize, one in Seattle, Washington, and the other in Kansas City, Missouri. It's all part of CEO Howard Schultz's Scorched Earth union busting campaign. Now, it's not necessarily a labor law violation for a company to close a store that voted to unionize, as long as it was not done to retaliate against the union or chill organizing. But looking at the data, it appears that's exactly what Starbucks is doing here. The union noted in a press release that the company has closed 19 Starbucks in the last few months. It's about 0.2% of the company's total number of stores, so a very small percentage. But 40% of those stores had voted to unionize. Whether Starbucks is breaking the law here would be determined by the National Labor Relations Board, which has already been active in holding the company accountable for infringing on workers' rights. The agency has already found merit in over 500 violations of labor law by Starbucks, and last week the NLRB succeeded in a court battle to force the company to reinstate organizers that were illegally fired, known as the Memphis 7. And this week, the NLRB issued a complaint against Starbucks for illegally withholding pay raises and benefits from union workers. The agency wants Starbucks to provide back pay to thousands of workers and for CEO Howard Schultz to read a statement to his employees going over their rights. But by continuing to close union cafes, Starbucks is making the calculation that ultimately the NLRB won't be able to keep up with all of its union busting. It's the same calculation Chipotle made when it closed a store in Maine that was also in the process of organizing. And it's a reasonable assumption to make, given the sad state of the NLRB right now, which has been starved of resources for a decade. The agency's funding has remained flat since 2014. And as the Economic Policy Institute reported, the number of private sector workers per NLRB employees has increased dramatically since 2006. Throw in the increased union activity and the increased union busting we've seen at major employers from Starbucks to Amazon, and you have an agency that is struggling to keep up with it all. And delays to enforcement actions ultimately help the union busters. In March, Senator Sherrod Brown wrote a letter to the White House asking for more funding for the NLRB. The administration's proposed budget for next fiscal year does include a 16% budget increase for the agency. To his credit, Biden has appointed Jennifer Abruzzo as the NLRB General Counsel, and she has pursued aggressive reforms on behalf of workers that would make it easier for them to organize. Now it's time to give her some money to do some real shit kicking. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.